Our lineup sheet now for our opening qualifying round. David Vuillemin back at full strength. Ezra Lusk, he's won twice here at 97 and 98. Nathan Ramsey and Ernesto Fonseca, Team Honda. Damon Huffman, Tim Ferry, Sebastian Waugh, Keith Johnson and Isaiah Johnson, Krein, Mason, Andrich, Kelly, White, Barron, Campbell, Riddle, Metz, Papworth, and Bruzeau. It's Barron who drops his 125 bike to get on a 250 bike, trying to qualify for both a 125 main event and a 250. As we zero in right now on number 12, David Vuillemin, trying to get back into this points race. Comes in 20 points down, David.
And look how nervous and twitchy he is. Man, that guy's getting himself all fired up. Like a football player, just beating himself in the head. Lost over a couple of spots from Vuillemin. Fonseca sandwiched right in between them.
We're almost ready to go for our first qualifier, the 250s from Pontiac. Great start by Fonseca. And going down is Sebastian Waugh in that first corner.
Looked like Fonseca had that whole shot up from our angle, and then Waugh came in there on the outside, but could not make that corner. And like I said, a couple guys got pushed wide.
Well, it's Fonseca out in front with Vuillemin right behind him, Tim Ferry, Ezra Lusk, and then Nathan Ramsey. Watch them all come through the whoop section. Chris Papworth out of the state of Utah. Picking up the rear as we go out in front with number 24. Ernesto Fonseca. Fonseca's had an interesting year, but I really think he's learned an awful lot this year in his first full 250 season as we now go to David Vuillemin.
He's much better than I thought he would do. Getting in the podium a couple of times, and if he's able to hold off Vuillemin right here, then Ricky will be on the starting line going, man, why couldn't he do that in the main event last week? Just to hold Vuillemin off in that last lap and a half would have given Ricky a couple more points. See Fonseca, looks like he's got a great start, but Waugh comes in from the outside, leaves it on a little longer, pays the price. Cannot get that front end to hold in the loose stuff.
Well, you just hope you're not right behind Waugh in a situation like that. Waugh was one of the finest riders ever to come out of Canada.
I think you're going to see Carmichael and all the favorites lining up all the way to the inside. So your finishing position is starting to become even more important in the heat races to get that exact position on the starting line to give yourself a chance for the start.
It looks like Vuillemin's getting a little frisky. He's looking for opportunity, and so is Tim Ferry, number 15 on the four-stroke Yamaha. The two teammates are part of one.
That works out a little bit better for Fonseca because maybe Vuillemin will be more concerned about Ferry and then Lusk back there. So Carmichael getting ready for the start. He's not even looking. I don't care what these guys do.
Vuillemin still in second place. Every time I see that number 15 on the Yamaha, I can't help but think, and this is no disregard to Tim Ferry, I can't help but think, but Doug Henry. And Doug was here on site, went through practice, hurt his knee. He was going to try to make the main. Here's Vuillemin and Ferry battling for second. Ferry, a great move into second place. There's Lusk in fourth. Look out for him. Vuillemin slipped wide.
Man, what a heat race. And we showed Carmichael up there in the box getting ready for the start of the next heat. He was a full second faster than all these guys in the practice session.
Holding on out in front, number 24, Team Honda's Ernesto Fonseca out of Costa Rica.
Does have any kind of a flaw so that he gets comfortable with one line, even if it's an outside line, leaving himself wide open for a block pass. As long as he's got a little cushion on these guys, he'll be okay, but he just tripled out of that section and gave himself a little breathing room.
Oh, the four-stroke of Ferry really giving him a good push on that initial takeoff.
These guys are eating him up in the whoop section. He goes in there with a gap, and they close it right back up.
One inside, one outside for Yamaha.
Coming out of the tunnel right here yesterday, right there, Fonseca was in front of McGrath and had the weirdest little crash. He swapped sideways, swapped back the other way, actually did a complete 180 and fell off the bike backwards. And at the end of practice, he went into the tough rhythm section at the far end and tripled twice. No one else I saw do that. So he recovered nice from the crash that could have kind of ruined his week a little bit.
Only the top four qualify. Fonseca, Ferry, Vuillemin, and Lusk in good position with Ramsey on the bubble behind Lusk.
Ferry really starting to let Fonseca know, ride there one more time, bud. You're going to give up the lead. He keeps tripling right there, and that saves him a little bit. He needs that cushion before they get to loop section.
An idea of how high they get on those triples. Amazing.
Vuillemin getting back around Ferry, and here comes Lusk.
Lusk is tailing on the inside just a little bit. Couldn't take advantage of it.
You never know with this sport what you're going to get. Now we're missing Mike LaRocco, we're missing Travis Pastrana, Kevin Windham, and you still get great racing like this.
Fonseca and Ramsey, both in their first year in 250s.
The longer Fonseca can stay in front of these guys, the more confidence he gets.
Vuillemin on the two-stroke. He looked so smooth in yesterday's practice.
Ernesto doesn't budge. Still triples through there. Doesn't get flustered at all with all that pressure. Vuillemin was all over him down that straightaway, and he just leaned right into him and still tripled through the rhythm section.
Look at this. Lusk was making a move for third on the outside of the whoop section and can't quite make it go.
Look at Vuillemin getting real creative, trying to make something happen.
Continues to impress as Vuillemin now on his outside has to tuck in.
You know, Fonseca's got a huge cheering section down there in the Honda pits because those guys are like, hey, we didn't expect him to do that well in his first season on 250. You know, it's a bonus if he does this well, but he can really help Carmichael down the stretch, take points away from Vuillemin.
His shining moment of the season was not only posting his finest finish in a 250, a second in Minnesota, but in that race he proved how valuable it is to have teammates for Ricky Carmichael. They were able to pick up 5 points on David Vuillemin because there was Fonseca who got in between the two. Here's Lusk, moves into third.
Now Fonseca's really got to watch himself in the loop this time. Vuillemin's got a great run at it.
Vuillemin down the center. Fonseca inside. David Vuillemin.
Vuillemin had to just bonsai us through there that time to get the lead.
Lusk is making a play now for second on Fonseca. Lusk is riding on the edge for him, I think.
These guys all are. Any one of them can still win this race. 1 lap to go.
Check out the pass. 1 lap remaining.
Vuillemin, see the run he got out of that corner? Clear track. He flew through those first 6 or 7 bumps, took the lead right away, and just leaned into the inside.
Boy, Lusk, I noticed that replay really bouncing up and down in the whoop section. Lusk trying to hold on to third in points here in the 250 as the season winds down. Vuillemin, Fonseca, Lusk, and Ferry with Ramsey on the bubble in the 5th spot.
All these guys within 0.3 of a second, their best lap. 56.3, the best by Vuillemin. Also Lusk.
Great shot at the end of the whoops of that arm action, the piston-like movement that they have to go through in those whoops.
Look at Vuillemin opened it up. Fonseca did a good job to hang on to second.
And it's the checkered flag for Vuillemin.
What a race.
Wow. That's only his second qualifying victory of the year, and it was under immense pressure from Fonseca, Lusk, and Ferry. Against the cheers of the Pontiac crowd.
They weren't cheering like that during opening ceremonies, but I think he's got a few fans now.
Yeah, I think so. Craig Monty is mechanic walking back as we look at the Honda results page. Vuillemin, Fonseca, Lusk, and Ferry going to the main event. Ramsey, Johnson, Riddle, Campbell, Huffman. They're going to go on to the semifinal round. Check out this great action in the whoops.